Welcome back to Saga of Three Kings. This is session number 8, titled Dead Town. At the end of last session, the group had investigated minor elements about the town of Mortis, which they have just entered into, after dealing with the plague of demonic bees that inhabited the bridge between the fort of Phalanx and the town of Mortis. At the end of that session, some people had intended on investigating more about the town and what has happened here, and others have intended to leave. That said, in the end throes of the investigation, Shambles, you would have entered one of the buildings that hasn't been entered yet. The long building, kind of like right near the well, has been investigated. Some of the buildings that you can kind of see into don't really need investigation. You're kind of just looking into the open guts of them. What building besides that do you think would be of interest to Shambles?
I suppose I would go to this tan roofed one at the end of the street.
Okay, when you come to it, you see that settled on the top end of it is a symbol of Atavius, and also a symbol of Osiria's triumvirate, which is very close to the same. Basically, the Osiria's national symbol is just the Atavian cross with a scroll across it that says Osirius, it looks like some sort of official building. Upon opening the door and entering in, it definitely has kind of like a musky kind of bookish smell. And you can see that there are a series of shelves along the left-hand wall that look like they have been damaged on one side because the roof is broken out, and rain has apparently been allowed to get in and kind of soil those books. But the left hand of the bookshelf seems to be intact. But it definitely has a certain kind of musky kind of odor to it, which you wouldn't note because you don't smell it. So, you would note that this appears to be some sort of kind of census building, or like a governmental building. The mayor of the town probably functioned out through here. You'd also note that the small building to the outside of it doesn't appear to be much of a building at all, but some sort of kind of gazebo, possibly for gazebo, yeah, for speeches or official addresses to townsfolk in a field just beyond and outside of the town. There are no bodies in this building. It looks like most of the official materials that would have been inside of like desks and clerks' counters has already been taken. So whoever was here was probably among the people who actually escaped the events of the town and what happened here. That said, emerging out from the sewer tunnel, Grok, you see Raya still kind of in his trance. You would note that Gondar and Slickback appear to be missing. Leon still sitting upon his elk not too far from Raya, keeping an eye on the towns. Leon, you'd be aware that Benson is on his way back over, or is actually close to Raya and is watching him, and you saw the building that Shambles went into.
So Grok doesn't see Gondar and Slickback.
With your passive perception, you could see that do look like there are about two silhouettes, maybe 200 feet or so, a ways away, headed back towards the bridge.
Yeah, so he would kind of run over there as best as he can. He's still carrying the crowbar, and he would get to them, and he's kind of huffing and puffing.
Well,
like, Gondar,
a quick
go
note.
ahead.
The crowbar would have broke. I didn't mention it in the chat. I apologize.
No. Okay.
It would have broken off at the door.
Okay, then I'm going to carry half of the crowbar. How about that?
That's fair.
Cool. So I'm carrying half a rusty crowbar.
The turtle runs the race. It doesn't say anything in that paradigm about how elks would fare against turtles.
Probably not that well.
I apologize for the water thing. I told her last time that her taking a bath at 5 o'clock is. I don't. So we're underwater for a little.
So that's all right. So I passed by Leon. Leon's on the way to God.
No. I'm just saying, like, if Leon wants to go and intercept, he'd be the fastest to catch up with them.
Yeah, I guess I can do that.
So if I see Leon, I would say, Leon, get Gondar. Important, he needs to see.
Okay, and I'll take the.
And then he's like, leans down on his knees and goes, and he like huffs and puffs a little.
Okay.
All right, we'll take the crowbar from him and yeah, right off with haste.
It will not be too hard an effort for the elk, who is currently unnamed, to catch up with Gondar and slip back. They're not really rushing to get back to the tower. Oh,
Where's a power walk? At best.
Well, Gondar, it's important. You see this, and I hand him the rusty crowbar.
No, we're playing telephone now. That's not what he meant.
I mean, come with me.
Crowbar, and why?
do you go back?
But like, why?
What's
going on?
Help, man? He needs your help. He seems exhausted. He wants you.
Oh my god. I roll my eyes and I let Slickback continue on since he's scared of the super pox or whatever is in this town. Say, okay, I will investigate the mystery of the rusty crowbar.
Do you want me to return back, boss, or do you want me to send somebody back for you? Or?
You know, we should be done by time before that could even be relevant, so don't worry about it. Just make sure everything's on the up and up at the fort. Everyone's settled in.
Okay, and I'll try and move quietly and not get caught out on the road.
Yeah, of course. Be careful. If you're gonna cut across country, just be cautious.
We'll do this. Heads off. Okay.
So, is it possible that while Leon was going to fetch Gondar, that Grok could have gone to Shambles and Benson?
So you don't know where Shambles is located. Benson's standing kind of like doing the chin scrimp, I'm sure, over Raya, right? Jody?
Yeah.
And Raya's kind of in a strange elvish trance.
Okay. So Grok would go to Benson and say, "I'm sorry to interrupt. There's something important that I found in the sewers."
If Benson's within arm's reach, my eyes will snap open. I'll grab him by the cloak and just yell in his face, "Stay away from the statue! Don't go near that hole in the ground!"
Bummer. I was trying to see if I got my people mixed up. What statue is that? What hole in the ground? Why?
The one's over there. That's where the sick came from. The people here, they told me.
In your investigation of the town, you would have seen outside of the tavern building, there's a massive statue that appears in some demonic name.
With a hole?
There's a hole in the ground here, yeah.
The townspeople were digging. Then everybody got sick. Stay away from that.
I believe our friend might have caught the fever.
Which one?
I'm not sure yet. I kind of look at Grok. I make some tea or give him some of my tea and say, "Drink this. It'll calm your nerves, friend."
Burn him.
What is going on?
Whoa!
Burn him.
So I kind of let him kind of do his thing and hopefully drink the tea. If he doesn't, he can hold it, whatever, throw it away. I don't care. Turn to Grok and be like, "What have you found?"
In the sewers, there is a locked door that I pried open, and inside there's a crypt, urns, coffins, and a stairway leading down.
I actually asked, "Does it seem like it might be leading towards the statue's hole?"
I don't know.
You would know that there's light piercing just above the door you broke into, and that's where the hole is located. It's directly overhead. So if you're in the sewers and you're standing facing the door, directly atop you is where the crack is.
But that's not where the steps leading down go. That's a separate thing, right?
Correct. If you remember how the map was laid out and how I had the lines drawn out,
Yeah.
It's kind of different than that. I think I showed you the picture in the chat.
I didn't see it. I could go in character or in general.
In general.
I cover my face and back away from Grok.
I don't see it.
Hold on.
It was posted on the 11th. It's pretty far up there.
Oh,
There it is again. So that's what it
That
looks like
also works.
underneath. If you click it open, you'll see how the sewer actually looks like underneath the city. So
Right.
if you had to venture a guess, the stairs are directly underneath the gazebo.
okay. So I would say that.
Okay, I try to reassure Raya that it's not one of ours. It might be shambles, but of course I forgot to mention that he cannot contract diseases with his ailment that he has of the missing the body. So we should be fine.
His inability to contract them does not mean he has an inability to spread them. He's made out of hay. If he's soaked in water, he'd be carrying any number of diseases. If you went in the sewers, stay the fuck away from me.
I can assure you I did not. So we will see where to go next. I walk Grok away from him, out of earshot, so that we can talk without homeboy freaking out. I say we might want to get the group together to see what would be the best course of action.
And then so Grok would say, yeah, I asked Leon to gather up Gondar.
Gondar, would you have, or Leon, would you have offered the elk to ride Gondar back, or would you have walked slow canter?
Oh, if he can get on with me, I'm sure the elk's big enough.
I ride on the front side saddle, and he puts his arms around. And
Yeah, it's like the Kanye West video.
yeah.
All right, adorable. You make it back to town. You can see that Raya is in a bit of a state and is probably just finishing that tangent. And go ahead and get Slick back off of there. And Grok is keeping his distance. Benson is drinking tea, and Shambles is currently missing.
Hey, so what's going on? You guys called me back. I was kind of trying to get away from the old disease town. What's going?
Oh, Grok would say there's more here than meets the eye. Underneath, in the sewers, I found a door leading to a crypt and a stairway leading down. It seems like something that you might be interested in. Who knows? There might be treasure.
Could be worth checking out if it's something you're interested in. I don't mind lending you my blades as usual.
Well, that would be appreciated.
Did we go back over to Raya, or did we stay away from there? Did you guys
Grok's
walk
staying
over?
far away from Raya.
Grok's on the other side of the well from Raya. Raya's kind of standing by himself, kind of keeping an eye on everyone. Right, Jeremy? A bit paranoid at this state? Okay. And then Benson's kind of staying kind of to the north side, still sipping his own tea, kind of seeing this unfold. Gondar and Leon enter back in. It basically, placement-wise, you're pretty much token-wise about where you would be.
Does anyone have any objections to this, like, rooting around in this crypt? Or is this kind of the course of action we're doing as a group? This is just a general statement to whoever's in earshot of me, which looks like everyone except Shambles.
I can't hear Jeremy if you're talking.
God damn it. How about now?
Yeah, you look like
Yes,
you've been
yes,
talking for a
Jesus.
minute.
Yeah, this whole town died because of a hole in the ground.
Also, I do know you hold gold in high regard, as we all do, but I just want you to remember that a 1,000 pieces of gold cannot buy one breath of life. We must be careful with our actions.
Oh, what do you think, Grok?
Well, I mean, if the group doesn't think it's safe, that's fine. I thought that you'd find it of interest. Grok could heal poison somewhat, but
If you can do that, you should cast it on yourself right now. I think we should head back to Mutus, get Jimmy the cleric, come back up here, cleanse this place, and then we'll see about doing something.
John.
Yeah.
Just off knowledge with my knowledge on the sickness, do I know anything that can kill it? Like if it's in the air, would fire burn it away? If it's in the
No, duration. So it can't just remain dormant and just hang out and then like get someone. Ooh. So what he's saying is confusing to you because it conflicts with what you know about the Red Death. The Red Death is something that it's typically transmuted to a person from like wildlife is where most people think it comes from.
mad cow disease kind of thing?
Yeah, and like something that's eaten wrong, that's incorrect. And then when it's attained, like from animals, then the symptoms start to spread, and basically a person becomes a full blown just disease machine, spreading it through air, and the like. And then everyone who catches it, continues to spread it out, and it's very quick to spread. If you survive the initial first 3 weeks of the Red Death, and pass through the bursting bubbles part, and survive through the main killing sickness, you're not sure what happens after that. You know that the disease never leaves a person once they have it, though. Make a medicine check. See if you can.
do we need to be trained in that to make it?
I would say so, but for the wizard,
I am not.
For the wizard, I'll allow him an untrained one because he's studious. You're not sure what happens exactly after it. You know that according to your research, and not very in depth because you're not a medicinal person, but you did do some kind of latent research on medicine with the shambles situation. You do know that there's a place in the capital city of Osiria, known as the
Darklands Tower.
The Darklands Tower, where they study diseases like this a lot.
I know a guy.
But you would think to yourself, there's no way that the plague could have been acquired from opening a hole in the ground, because unless there was somebody that was sick that was down there and was still living,
Right. So, and the whole town looks dead. So I would definitely be pushing the fact of the disease that you're talking about that happened here. It doesn't work like that. It would be gone by now. We should be safe.
Yeah, and the people who left this town before the story, the rumor that you got, it's been a month since anyone's lived here.
I talked to them. They're still here. They said they opened the hole. People started getting sick. This is what's spreading around. This isn't hearsay, man. They told me.
Who's they?
The townsfolk.
How'd you talk to them? This is part of your newfound powers?
I don't know, man. I'm just sitting here trancing out, and this whole city starts talking to me.
Like ghosts or something?
I don't know. Fucking elves.
Elves are weird.
So what's the plan?
I don't know. Am I seeing anything useful in the the government building?
There's a lot of history books. Most of it's just records on the town. The shelves that I mentioned. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
You got it. 0.
Nothing.
Man, this place is a fucking ghost town.
Shambles hates books.
Not any papers in here whatsoever.
You head back out.
It's because your eyes are sewn on.
Yeah.
Everything
Damn
is-
this curse.
Everything looks like the Yoshi Yarn video game. Everything's, that's awesome. Anyways, you were saying.
I don't know if Benson is saying that doesn't believe the disease could survive here without like a living host. That we should be okay to explore. I think we just have to kind of decide if we want to trust crazy elf dream or a wizard.
We do know people to where if we were, by some reason, to attract it, we can go, of course, talk to the cleric, and of course our turtle friend here could possibly help as well, but I very much feel we are safe.
Only if it's poison. If it's disease, I don't know if I could do much.
Clerics and paladins.
Did we find out? No, maybe we don't know that yet. Never mind.
My eyes are just twitching like crazy.
I don't know what you're referencing. Shamble comes back over to the group. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, would we have known that the Red Death is incurable, even by magical means?
That's what Benson just figured out, yeah.
Yeah, so having a druid, a paladin, a cleric, it doesn't matter. Once you have it's all ogre.
But they know how to identify it.
Right.
Yeah.
They could see it before we got it.
Do we not want to find out like what caused this, so like it maybe wouldn't happen again, or like go somewhere else, or
Destroy the source if there is one.
it doesn't sit well with me. Like that it could happen again, maybe, or like someone else could stumble upon this.
So what's the situation? What'd you guys learn? There's some papers back there that I can't read.
That's good.
We had a deal.
Well, it's not that you can't. It's not that you can't read them. Basically,
none of it made sense.
Yeah, you open the first book that you kind of grabbed a hold of, and you looked at it, and it's like literally just a list of things, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
It's incredibly boring.
Yeah. Obviously, you were not an accountant.
There's no pictures in this book.
You were not.
Throws it away.
If I only had a brain.
You were not a clerk. Oh, good joke. Inspiration. You were not a clerk. You were not an accountant in your past life. You can scratch that off the board there.
So, hey, we had a deal. We got here. You're going to take a look at these, look for documents, look for missing persons reports.
Yeah, I looked in the inn or whatever. I looked in a couple buildings. I can.
All right. It's not what I'd call a full investigation. You want to maybe poke our noses into a couple other places, see if we can glean something.
Didn't you already look in all the other buildings?
I did not. I found some things that didn't make sense to me. I thought you guys were more capable on that.
I am also not an accountant. I don't read that great. I have people who do that for me.
Benson. Friend to friend. I need a favor.
I'll go take a look with you, buddy. Well, let's go take.
That place looked safe, right?
Yeah.
It was just.
So you go back to the Commerce Building and
wait
take a look.
outside.
You'll note that the books are very similar coordination to what you've seen in the records at Town Hall in Mutas. And you would note that it looks like the records that are destroyed, the ones that would have been kind of taken out by the weathering and the water, they look like they're the oldest records. So records that would have dated back prior to the town's formation as it's known now, which is unfortunate. You are able to kind of scramble to note, like very quickly through the records, that this town, this version of the town, is only about 50 years old. This area was nothing more than a couple of buildings, 2 buildings exactly, for about 50 years after the Civil War. And the town was actually destroyed outright about 30 years before the end of the war, when it was obliterated by magics from the conglomerate forces. That said, what you're able to find out is that they kind of reference several things in the destroyed records in regards to the sewerways. And from what you can tell, it seems that a number of individuals were aware of the door, and it's been recorded. And what you are told, or what you kind of understand of it, is it's known as a red door, a door that guards crypts of the long since dead, and is guarded in a way to make it so that anyone who wished to rob the tombs would be plagued with the reason that they died, or the individuals died, through mechanical means. And it kind of gives an outline of the details of the trap that was on the door, and how to, basically, why to avoid it. And from what you're reading, it states that it injects an individual with the Red Death.
And I know that.
Trap.
Well, okay, so just because in case I'm not I don't get this here, that's the door that Grok just ripped open.
Yep.
Wasn't injected.
Okay, well, I'm just my character didn't know that yet, so I kind of get serious a little bit there, where I'm like, okay, that might be bad.
You kind of tear the pages out that kind of reference the trap and kind of like the description from the town mayor, and kind of keep those a hold of those.
He doesn't have to deface the book. He can just take the whole thing.
The rest,
nobody's here to stop him.
The rest of the book is useless.
Why is that how you defend crypts?
The rest of the book is useless, and the exterior of it's kind of like mildewed anyways. The pages are fine, so.
Bro.
So they buried people who died to this sickness, and locked them in a door, and anyone that tried to break in there was going to get this sickness again.
Right.
Like, is extraordinarily spreadable and kills many.
More specifically, anybody.
Yeah, this seems counterproductive.
More specifically, anybody who wished to deface the graves would be plagued.
It's a very spreadable plague that killed God knows how many, though, is what I'm getting at.
You betcha.
So is the trap like the trap can read your intentions? Like if you're just like, oh, I just want to poke my head, peekaroo or something.
I don't know.
But if you're like, I'm gonna rob this place, then the trap's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get.
No, they shouldn't even come up. It should be an option.
So
let's honor those that died.
They obviously didn't come up with a way in those pages or any ideas to disarm it, or they weren't intending to. They were just noting it, and they had basically kind of made, from what you can tell, declarations to the townsfolk at the gazebo proper, to make sure that they were aware of its presence and not to do anything with it. That was about 10 years ago.
Someone did it.
Oh, so yeah, someone already set off the trap.
Right now.
Yes, and again, we don't know that he didn't get hit with it, so that's what kind of the role playing of it is like, crap, if one of us has it now, that could be a bigger issue. And would he tell the truth if he did get it? I would say this to Shambles.
Of course I would tell the truth.
Putting a request in? What?
I'm not Raya.
So I'm asking how truthful our turtle friend would be if he contracted a disease that could kill hundreds, if not thousands.
I mean, he seems honest, if a little, mean to me.
I've been okay.
Wouldn't let me have my curse dolls. Whatever.
That was
Nobody
fair.
wanted me to have those.
That was fair and good.
Why am I moving on every other square?
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, we need to somehow get with the group and let them know and figure out what we need to do about Grok in the first place if this happened, and two, how to stop this from spreading if it did happen.
Euthanize Grok, because apparently it's incurable.
Well, let's take him aside, because my first impression was, do we have to kill the guy? I don't want to put that in the air. Well, let's have a heart-to-heart with him, make sure he's being honest with us.
This is all coming
if he's
from
already infected, we're doomed. Well,
the scarecrow with the noose around his neck.
What if we just kill him and then he can be reincarnated?
Then he can be an elf too.
He can be an elf, and the elves can just be pledged to each other or something. That's how their nature hippie magic works.
Hey, time out of character. I thought Jeremy and I were the questionable motives guys.
Wow, this is definitely.
You three want to have a damn lynching.
I am trying to think greater good here, bro.
This is a paradigm shift.
What the hell is going on?
And a funny thing on that. So Grok gets turned into an elf via reincarnate, and we can just tell the people who made bad mistakes are the elves in the party. So if you're not an elf, you're doing it right.
Which is all elves in the world.
That's not true. Don't be that guy.
They all make mistakes, and this is what they have to pay.
Be elves. No, elves.
So I would definitely say to Shambles that we have to at least confront this issue, because if anything, we have to stop the spread here one way or another if it did happen.
All right. Grok, I'll shout down the street. Can you come take a look at this, please?
Sure. I would amble over.
Take that noose off your neck.
No. We'll use that another time.
Wipe his nose with his sleeve a little bit.
So, about this door you told Benson about.
Uh-huh.
It's down that hole over there.
Yeah. It has a staircase that leads down. Pretty cool, right?
It's super cool. We should check it out. What happened when you opened it? How'd you open it?
Rusty crowbar. Door had a lot of moss on it. Looks like it hadn't been opened maybe a really, really long time.
Uh-huh.
Kind of smell funny in there.
Probably about 10 years.
That's long time doors for you. Hey, any traps? Any wacky stuff going on?
No, I didn't say there was. Definitely not.
Sure. All right.
That would bother Benson, honestly. I would definitely be kind of a step back if he says there were no traps. I would reiterate. I was like, you said there were no traps at all.
That's right. Why would there be traps?
I would take out the sheet of paper and basically read through the paper, telling him that there should be a trap that is pushing this Red Death out to curse everyone else of the people who've died in this town. And from what Raya was saying, it lines up.
That's horrible. But I can assure you there are no traps. If someone wants to go down there with me, I can show you. There's no evidence of a trap. Let's go.
I'll take the bait. I'll go down the hole.
Okay. So if you're interested in going into the sewer, let me know who you are.
Zach, Shambles.
So Grok and Shambles?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I would go with, because if we're here, I'm infected now anyway. But I would definitely keep some distance between Grok and my.
Did you move yourself behind the wall over there to hide out? Like, are you staying away from?
I'm not letting anybody within 20 feet of me.
Okay. Leon going down in the hole or no?
Is everybody else, is Gondar going down the hole?
If Gondar jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge?
Well, that's the thing.
Check out this disease hole.
Because from my perspective, me and Gondar are still outside, and you guys went in this house, and now I'm seeing the three of you leave this house to go into the sewers.
Yeah, they have to kind of pass by the main courtyard to go to the sewer, though.
Yeah, we're not just dropping down the fissure in the ground. We're going back to the sewer, right?
Jump in the hole.
Oh,
yeah.
I wouldn't give up the information of there's a trap down there and such.
Actually, you know what? I'd tell them to wait, because for all we know, Turtle was super duper lucky it didn't spring a trap.
So you want to go first? And,
I'll go check out that door for a second.
No, yeah, you guys go down. If you need help, hoot once like a barn owl, twice like a brown owl, and I'll come running.
Wait,
all right.
Why three?
Once
hoots?
like a what?
Which is one hoot? Hoot one is good.
No, you have to do two different hoots of.
It seems overly complicated if you need help, Gondar.
Okay, I'll just scream real loud.
That's how I know you're serious then.
Okay. When you descend down into the sewer, as Grok did before, you can see that there's a very long passageway that continues to the south, and to the north, the passageway seems to be blocked off by a set of iron bars. There's definitely a strange smell to the sewer, as I noted before, and it looks like it goes down to the south a bit and forks off to the right. Hold on a second here. All right. You currently have no light source other than the light that's coming from above. So you kind of move around to where the door is located. And you can see that there is a bridge that kind of crosses over the waterway to the door. So Benson and Shambles, you just move south and then to the left of the map.
Benson, you've got a light, right?
Absolutely, I'm going to cast light on whatever Shambles has in his hands.
Put on my hat.
Yep, put it on his hat.
Glowing hat. Cool.
Good hat. Oh, there we go. It's down and to the left. Did Grok leave? Did Grok go straight?
I'm out the door.
Oh, okay.
So if you move over to the door, you can see that it's just slightly open. You can't see too far beyond it because we're not going into that space. I'm assuming that you're going to currently investigate the door, right?
I'm going to look around for any sprung traps.
I would like.
So I guess I'll investigate.
I would like for you to determine who's the primary investigator and who will be helping that individual.
I'm bad at investigating.
Grok is strong. He's not a good investigator.
It's intelligence based.
I'm good at investigating. I will be the head investigator.
Shambles helping you out. I will allow this to be a non-proficiency help, so you can go ahead and make that check with training or with advantage. Sorry, Benson, give me an investigation check.
24.
You find the trap. It's not hard to find. It's inside of the lock mechanism of the door handle. You can see that there is a small vial that appears to be attached to a small silver pin or needle. It seems that there is a very, very limited trace element of liquid in the vial, but it looks like the ejector has already been activated. Someone must have been messing with the lock and was injected.
Like a turtle.
Based on what you can see, the door was actually opened by brute force. Someone took something thin and jagged and hard and rigid and forced the door open. It doesn't look like the injector was used recently. It looks like it was used some time ago.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I would relay that
He's on the
and
up and up.
say he seems fine. He's good. We're good.
Yeah.
You can also see the broken off hand or the top head portion, the crook of a crowbar laying on the ground, and you did see Grok running through the town with the other broken half of the rusty crowbar.
I would say, well, while we're down here, we might as well look a little farther then. Well, wait, he said it was a crypt, right? That's all the stuff said that I read.
Yeah, so there are urns filled with cremains
Yeah.
and some coffins.
If you go into the room, I'll go ahead and move you to that map. Hold on a second. So you enter in, and as the description in the chat once again outlined, there are very jagged walls throughout, and you can see that the walls that are jagged, basically on either side of the facing there, are columbaria, which are basically small kind of alcoves with stone facings. Inside of those, the presumption is that there are urns with remains inside. And then in the wall portions, the actual like vertical surfaces, there are crypts with stone pieces covering them over. It looks like one of those crypts, close to where you're at, is open. It doesn't have a stone facing, and the coffin appears to be laying out on the ground. It doesn't look like it's been molested in any way, opened, broken into, or anything to that effect. And then on the far side of the room, you can see that in between four of the columns is a massive stairwell that descends down into darkness.
Grok says Grok didn't touch anything. Went straight back up.
Oh, and right, the area seems to be covered with moss. Green moss. Benson, Grok has told you that he's identified it to not be anything poisonous or detrimental to human breeds.
And from here, we can see the sky. Like we can see through the hole in the ground.
No, the hole in the ground was behind you.
Oh, it was outside the door. Sorry.
Right.
So we can go down, or we can say, and I'm guessing more crypts, as this is supposed to be a tomb, a crypt, and we can head back as the trap has been set, the damage has been done, it hasn't been done to us. Does anyone know of a reason why we should continue down?
No, not without the full party. We don't want them worrying about us or assuming we're dead.
I mean, even with the party, though, is there a reason? Yeah, I get the XP part, man. But I mean,
Curiosity.
I'm trying to be. I get it. Yeah, I'm trying to do more role playing of the character of how.
I mean, if we're still worried about the poison, I'll go check it out myself for a moment. But
I 100% agree, and I get it. I'm not trying to force you into the exploration part. I definitely wanted to make it enticing. So yeah, do what you want to do. Don't
Grok says to Benson, why don't you tell them that it's safe and that I'm not poisoned? And they can decide what they want to do.
Right. Yeah, I will go up and tell everyone that everyone's not poisoned, but we also didn't tell them that about the trap when we were walking in for that reason, because we didn't want to. I didn't want to cause more panic than we needed to. I figured I and Shambles is all that really needs to know about. So I will definitely go back up and reassure the group that there was a trap, but it has been sprung safely in the past.
Are you going by yourself?
I will go. I don't know if other people are following.
It's dark outside, so the light on the hat is with him. Do you want to move it to yourself so you can travel with no problem? And then Grok, do you want to?
I'll run him up.
Okay, if you two want to go together, I would like for both of you to make perception checks.
7.
12.
Shambles, there's something kind of wet and smacky sounding. It might be an echo or like a drip or something. It seems to be coming from the southern portion of the tunnelway when you come out of the fork area. So going back to the sewer map, basically what I mean to say is when you get to like here, south of you from that position, it sounds like there's a wet, smacky sound, like probably a couple 100 feet to the south of you. You don't know what it is, but it's definitely something that you kind of hear.
Yummy, yummy.
Benson, I'm gonna check this out. Go tell the others where I'm going.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
You're gonna do this without getting Grok?
Did Grok stay down there?
I think they left you with the Columbarium.
Yeah, I mean...
We'll reconvene in like 2 minutes.
Shambles, stealth. Yep, okay. You are more than clearly moving quietly, and you're also not, kind of like a breathing form, so you're absolutely stealthy. You make progress, and you see what appears to be a very large mound of some sort kind of sitting in the center of the sewerway. And you can see that it's kind of moving and kind of like as you kind of getting closer, you're kind of moving in the dark. Do you have the light hat? Because
I'm putting the hat in my jacket.
Okay, well he would have taken Benson would have taken the light away from you if he was moving away from you like that.
Oh, okay. Fine.
I can't see in the dark.
He can't see in the dark, and he has to go climb. Yeah, so it's kind of really, really dark in here. There's some cracks in the ceiling. There's some points of light that are kind of pressing in. You have kind of like a very limited amount of sight, so you can kind of see the outline of this form, and you can kind of hear this sound. And when you kind of focus in on it a bit more, you realize that this is a creature. It seems to be very large and massive and almost slug-like, with armored carapace. On the front of its head, it appears to have several tentacles, which are pulling what appears to be some sort of body in towards its mandibled mouth and biting down on this mound of flesh. It appears to be a person that is eating, but the person's not alive. Looks like the person's quite dead and in a state of decay. And it looks like there's a couple more bodies nearby. Like there's a small pile of bodies near this massive thing.
I'm gonna back away, nice and quietly,
Okay.
back to the fork, light a candle, and wait for the others to come down the ladder.
Okay. So Benson, you arrive back up on the surface, and you know Raya's still hiding over in the corner, just keeping his distance from everyone else. Leon's keeping sentry position, and Gondar's just probably impatiently waiting because he's got shit.
Yeah, I'm picking my teeth with a knife.
He's got shit to do, and you're making him wait in the courtyard.
I would tell them about the stairs that lead down. I would also reassure them that the trap has been sprung long ago. The disease has already ran its course and should be gone by now, so we should be safe. But there was something that Shambles was going to go look at. So I believe that we at least need to check it out and at least go make sure he's okay. And if so, if we choose to leave, we can leave. If not, we can choose to explore more. It's up to the group.
Well, you guys drag me back here to check out the hole, so we might as well see it through. And if you're saying that the disease has run its course, and Grok is a bill of health, then we might as well plunder whatever's down there.
Quick note. Shambles, when you were on your way back, you kind of are looking at the world a little differently. When you're heading down a dark tunnel, you're kind of looking at blackness, and the light behind you is kind of not really lighting too much because you're walking into darkness. When you're walking towards light, you're kind of seeing the light a bit differently in that regard. And so the light holes from the ceiling and stuff ahead, you notice that there are a couple of bodies in the water here. They look like they were unceremoniously discarded in the sewerways. Like, you might come to your own conclusions on that, but it looks like someone has discarded dead bodies in the sewer.
All right, I'm going to quickly and quietly go to Grok, tell him we're leaving the sewer.
Okay.
Somebody's been dumping bodies feeding this thing.
Well,
There's
feeding
some
what,
kind of-
what thing?
Some kind of slug, some kind of octopus.
Well,
I don't like the looks of things.
Hold on. The bodies look like they might have been Mortis people.
Okay,
I don't know
so
if
somebody
that helps.
just dumped them into the sewer?
Yeah. You don't know if the two are connected so much. You can come to that conclusion if you want, but you're not. It's not something that you're certain of.
Sure. Anyway, there's some kind of big creature back there. It's eating dead bodies. For all I know, it's eating the bodies that have the disease.
Hmm.
That's a solid chance that it could be spreading the disease. You guys
Yeah.
with flesh, you don't want to be here. We either kill it or we leave.
So let's go back up and decide as a group.
Sounds good.
Gondar, Benson, did you head down or did you wait for the others to come up?
Yeah. I would head up, talk to him, and then it's like, okay, guys, we at least got to go
Before you
help him out.
Yeah,
in
before you
case
get the chance, they'll just come up. We'll just do it that way. You are all on the surface again.
Good news, bad news. So the sewer continues further south. Found what was making noise that was bothering me. Some kind of creatures down there are eating dead bodies. Dead bodies could be infected. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an investigator. I'm a scarecrow. I feel like you guys could still get sick.
And then Grok would say, separate, the door that I broke through, that hasn't been opened, so no creatures have gotten into there up until now.
And then Benson about the trap.
I told him that earlier.
Okay.
Well, we only have accounts of how this disease affects humans. We have no idea what that thing could be carrying.
Probably
And if you're
carrying
saying
the
about it-
disease.
Yeah, and it could affect it very differently. It could make it more contagious or less, or... This
Either
a wild
way,
card
I
situation.
imagine it could be carrying the disease based on how long it's been eating these corpses.
Yeah, and more importantly at this point, we need to find maps of the municipality and its sewer system and decide where these things go. Because if somebody's been dumping bodies into the sewer and is traveling downstream, this disease could already be spreading to other towns.
Benson, you would actually know that the moldy books would have been where the sewer contents would have been at. So finding pages that have the sewer mappings here probably aren't anywhere besides the capital itself.
So it would be a long road back.
Yeah, it was either going to be in that document. I mean, you can. It's not going to be very easy for you to do anything with the wet, books. But yeah, it would be all the way to the capital to find anything about the sewers here.
That creature could be the last, like, carrier of the disease in here. If we get rid of it, then we could essentially put an end to the issue of the Red Death being active in this town, and it could start to rebuild.
But if you stab that thing and get its blood on you and take its contents upon yourself, then you've got Red Death, and we start the problem all over again.
Yeah, only if we eat it, right? Or like it gets in our mouth or something. We could just cover our.
It's contagious through cough. It's contagious through fluid extraction to soft entry points. To your knowledge, basically, it can be injection can cause it to enter into your system. There's a number of different ways that it can get you. Yeah.
So if you become wounded and it bleeds on you while you're cutting it, you've got it.
Yeah, or it pierces you with like a mandible or something.
You said we go cough, so if it's just breathing bad breath and we go down there and we inhale the same air it's been breathing, are we going to catch?
Potentially.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Necklace of fireballs.
I asked earlier if fire would kill the disease, and he said no, it would not.
Okay.
Maybe we should just quarantine this place then. Let's just leave and burn the bridge behind us.
Could we make sure that the sewer grate is closed so that it can't get down there?
Yeah.
It can't get up.
Did it look like it would be able to get out?
Oh, yeah, it looks like it could break through stone, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing, basically for your brain, do you know what a carrion crawler is?
Yes.
Okay, imagine one the size of a giant, like a fire giant. It's a massive, carapace-covered carrion crawler. A beast of a thing to behold.
I'd like to get rid of the thing.
I agree.
But I like you guys too. So
I would like to get rid of it.
We could get rid of it, but
grow blisters that explode and are gross doesn't sound too fun.
are we going to kill it
draw
without...
it out. You guys could all kill it from very, very far away. I don't know.
Yeah, try and keep our distance, but we can't let it just exist. The other question that's pressing is if someone is feeding it, who is it, where are they, and why are they feeding it?
You weren't there for that conversation, but I don't know that they were feeding it necessarily. They were dumping bodies down into the sewer. This thing happens to be feeding on them.
Which direction's the sewer flowing?
I imagine south.
Then we should head north to the next sewer opening and see what we can find.
It's currently blocked by iron grates, but yeah, it's definitely an option to try and break through.
No, from above ground. I don't want to go under.
Oh, I get you. Try and follow it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not going down there.
We can. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere for the moment, so we have time to investigate the person.
It's certainly
in question.
eating many dead bodies now.
Yeah, so we have time to go check that alternative.
Or it didn't care about me since I'm not food.
If you explain the creature to to Grok and to Benson,
I'll describe it to the best of my abilities.
and to Leon.
Hard shell.
If you have nature or Arcana trained, go ahead and make an Arcana or nature check.
Yes.
12.
10.
A lot of good ones.
Oh, 10. Barf.
Kevin, you're not terribly familiar with all the details of it, so you won't know the specifics. But you have heard of a creature called a carrion crawler, which specifically kind of delves in crypts and areas like that. It's seen as kind of a blight to those kind of locations. What it does is it feeds on dead bodies and remains. It doesn't feed on living things. Unless it has no other options. Basically, you have a favorite food, but you'll eat a salad if you have to. Effectively, it refers to a dead body as that delicious favorite food, and it refers to living things as.
But based on Benson's like deductions, it could be carrying the disease.
Correct.
Okay, so yes, I still want to kill it.
So, Operation Scarecrow Bait or what?
It's up to you. I think we have two options. One is investigate the feeder, if there even is still one, or we just kill this first. But either way, my vote is to kill this thing because it's unnatural and could pose like a threat to like God knows what else.
Wait, is it unnatural? It sounds like it's like part of like the ecosystem.
Well, if it's carrying the disease, we should get rid of it.
Yeah, if it gets out, like imagine what it could do.
Be like Mortis 2.
Electric boogaloo.
They're considered.
Yeah, like
They're considered monstrosities, but they are basically magical beasts.
Like it was all fine and dandy. We knew that the disease was dead with these people, but yeah, this is a very much a living thing that is bigger than a person and possibly more destructive.
Do we know where to find them?
Where
The
to find-
magical beast.
The what?
The magical beast.
Where to find?
And where to find them?
Oh, get out of here! Get out!
And you really wanted that joke to land.
I did.
You
Unacceptable.
doubled back and everything.
Oh yeah.
I believe. It's
So it's getting dark.
Yeah. You arrived about midday. You spent a couple of hours. It's late afternoon. It's like mid-afternoon.
Okay, so we can all see reasonably well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you go in the sewers.
So, I feel like we would do a lot better against this thing here on the surface. You guys have more opportunities to evade it. I'd be willing to try to get it onto the surface for you.
It's probably a good plan. We could even use like the rooftops of the buildings or something.
Couldn't hurt.
So, yeah, this is gonna kind of sound gross, but we could dangle a body down there. That's like food.
Yeah, and try and like bait it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's a
got
good
plenty
idea.
of bodies where it's at. It's not gonna go for the first dangler it sees.
So are we alright, so we're going for killing the beast first. And we'll find the feeder after.
Anybody object?
Yeah.
Anybody other than Raya object?
Oh my God! Shambles is off Team Raya.
If you can get it to the surface, and
Team Raya was a declaration. I was not.
Like if we
I was never called into it.
Hey, real quick, how about y'all do me a favor? If you even get so much as scratched while doing this, walk into that crypt and fucking kill yourself. Last one and close the door. I'm gonna circumnavigate the town. Any town that or any sign that says "Welcome to Mortis" or whatever, I'm just writing Red Death on it.
Okay.
Stay out.
Good.
that's fine. There's enough roofs in these buildings that aren't like destroyed, right? Like we could legit use.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick. That's my plan. Lure it out and like get up high and just rain arrows. Try to.
Okay. All right. So Shambles.
I think we can do it. I think we have to.
Is Operation Scarecrow Bait really the thing?
I feel like I could outrun him.
like it.
Shambles, out of character. Cut open a dead body and put it on.
I like
Man
the
on the
idea.
outside.
It's like Silence
Also,
of the
the
Silence of
skin-wearing
the
thing
Lambs,
might
right?
have layers.
It puts the lotion
It puts the lotion on. Yeah.
He can't smell it. And if he wants to bait this thing
What?
out of there, he's gonna look like food.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
But like, he'll smell like food, but if he's running around, I thought the Karen color doesn't want living things, so why would it chase after something that's gonna cause
Wait,
it
was that
effort?
said?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, I feel like if it's got a
I could
pile
just
of dead
piss it
bodies in the
off.
sewers, that it has to decide between chasing
I could throw a
something or
dart
just
at it.
eating. Yeah, you'd have to actually be like threatening, I feel, in
Yeah.
order for it to want to chase you
I'm
down.
threatening.
For the
See my
necklace of
face?
fireballs,
Ooga booga.
does could I just give one bead
Whole
to him?
Whole necklace.
So I know this is
Well, thanks.
crazy. This is crazy, Shambles. But I have this necklace. Just be real careful with it.
Let me double check. No, yeah, you can.
You want
give
to take it down?
You can give him a bead.
I'll give you a bead. You can chuck it at it. Fireball.
Might be a good idea. If
Piss
that
him
like
off.
incinerates its food, it might get even more pissed off.
Yeah, that's a
Then
great
hoof
idea.
it. Then hoof it.
All right.
So I give
Get
him
it
one
nice
and
and
a half,
ma-
4
This
left.
is feeling less like my plan, but
You could
you
do it
fellas
your
get
way.
into
That was your
position.
plan. We're just
Yeah,
What
what was your way?
Feels doctored now, but
Grok's
Get
plan
on the rooftops if you
is
need
to
to.
give the Scarecrow boy fire.
I guess I'm going.
Yeah,
down
if he's
with-
getting ready
with
to
a
go,
fire bead.
I'm getting
I
on
will
a-
be getting on a roof as well.
yeah. I'm gonna get on this roof. If it's
Don't
probably
all get
coming
on
out
the
of here.
same roof. In
Can a
case the roof
turtle? Can a turtle climb a roof? I can
Hey.
climb.
Yeah, you can give it a shot.
Dude, Ninja Turtles.
You're going down the tunnelway. Go ahead and make another stealth check.
You got it.
I don't think he wants a stealth check this time.
9.
It kind of lifts its head up and sees that you're coming, and you can see that it starts kind of like wrapping its tentacles around a body, like one for each, and it seems to like grab several of the corpses and kind of close them in close to its face, and then turn around and start slithering away from you.
Damn it. How far away is it?
It's moving at a pretty good clip, about 40 feet per round. And you actually watch as it kind of moves to one of the walls and climbs on the ceiling.
Yeah, I'll get within fireball range and I'll ignite and prepare to run the opposite direction.
Okay.
You just chuck it.
Throw a fireball. Okay. The DC is 15 for it. Go ahead and roll damage.
What is the damage?
I think it's
Something
8d6.
D6?
8d6.
Took forever. 25.
Okay. Seems to evade a bit of that, and it seems to move a lot quicker away from you, just into the shadows.
So it's a coward. Ah, damn it. This is not great.
Let's go beat the crap out of it. It's just gonna keep running from me. Got this.
Yeah, I can't let it get away. I have to chase it.
Oh, not yourself, man.
Holler, at least holler, see if we can hear.
Yeah, I'll shout over my shoulder that it's a runner. Hopefully you guys can hear it from the rooftops.
No. You're already 300, or about 200 feet down the tunnelway, so you're a good ways away from them, and you're underground.
Neat.
So you yell over
Chasing.
your shoulder and chase. Okay. What's your speed?
40.
Okay. You find that there's a segment of the tunnelway that's broken apart. For you to keep up with it, you're going to either have to make an acrobatics check to move across the and jump across the area, or an athletics check to just raw jump across and keep pace. So your pick on either of those. Go ahead and make the check.
25 acrobatics.
You kind of flip to one, jump off the wall, bounce off the other, and see that it's skittering along the ceiling, and then it kind of comes back down the way onto the ground level after going over that rough patch. And then it moves over to a fork in the tunnelway. It's actually a T section, and it cuts to the left, and you're able to tail it and keep an eye on it.
Can I peg it with some darts while I'm moving?
You're too far away from it
Okay.
because it got a pretty good head start on you. It's about 100 or so feet away. Your darts only throw 60. But you manage to come to a point where you come to what appears to be a cul-de-sac. It looks like this area is kind of like a round room filled with kind of just a mess of things. And as it kind of enters the room, it quickly like rolls its tentacles out and discards the bodies onto the ground and spins around to face you. You literally snap around the corner and are 20 feet away from its face. Roll initiative.
Oh shit!
Oh, Lude, you're back to its lair. It's learning. Clever
It took my
girl.
plan.
Clever girl.
13.
It goes first. It's going to move forward 10 feet, so now it's within 10 feet of you, and it snaps tentacles down at your body. Let's see here.
We set our boy
Jeremy,
up
if you're
for
talking, we
failure.
can't hear you.
We get another elf.
Still nothing.
That was his idea.
21 and a 19. Do those hit?
Yes, both.
Okay. You'll take 16 points of poison damage. And I need you
We
to
should
go.
have rested.
I need you to go ahead and make 2 Constitution saving throws.
Constitution saves
I
8
don't think
and 9.
You kind of come around the corner, you pull out darts, and you're like, yeah! And then the tentacles snap into you, and you feel your whole body just kind of. And you fall over. Then you can.
Normal scare.
You're conscious. You're completely conscious, but you cannot move any part of your frame.
Was that a poison? Or
Yeah.
was it?
Are you immune to poison?
I'm immune to the poison. I have resistance to poison damage, and I'm immune to being poisoned.
Let me check that real quick.
I think.
Awesome.
Oh shit!
Yes, clutch.
He gets shanked and he's like, I feel nothing.
Saving throws against being poisoned and resistance to the poison damage. Not immune. Sorry.
Okay. So you would have had. Let me double check your saving throws here.
One was a 13.
Yeah, 13 and a 9.
The second one was
They
still a
both
9.
So same situation as I described. And then you feel it kind of like come over you, and it bites down into your flesh. You feel like this poison is going to last quite a while, but you feel it kind of bite down into your body. You take another 13 points of damage, but then you watch in horror, because you can't move your body, as it kind of spits your body parts and the vitae back out onto your frame, and then kind of like picks your body up, kind of moves out, and just drops you in the water, and for a minute you start sailing south, downstream.
Fucking coward. Finish me.
You regain movement of your body about a minute later, and
Goodness.
you're about 100 feet further down the waterway.
You're back at the first checkpoint.
No, south.
No, I went further than I ever been.
Yeah, you're now about 500 feet from the towns.
He's a big floater.
I guess I'll start walking back. Is he still in the cul-de-sac?
If you kind of
Corner?
are you trying to sneak past that part?
No.
Okay.
I'm just walking back. I'm pissed off.
You look in.
Flipping them off.
You look in. It seems like it's moved the corpses onto a pile, the 4 that it brought with it, and it's slowly devouring one of them. It seems to be more of like a sucking, kind of grinding against the bone and flesh, than a situation where it's just biting into it. And it kind of tried to do that with you. It kind of sucked a bit of your hay out, and then was not a fan of the vitae taste and let you be. You move past, annoyed. It probably gives you a look like,
I'm throwing a dart at it.
oh, you want to fight again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Throw your dart.
What's my distance?
You're 20 feet away from it if you're at the entrance.
I'll back to the side of the sewer
Yeah,
chamber, whatever the hell you call it.
perfectly.
And yeah, I'm gonna chuck a dart at him.
Okay,
19 to hit.
hit. Damage.
Is it?
7.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna start running back towards the entrance where I came from.
Okay, so you move 40.
North. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Bear with me here.
Take your time.
It will.
Zach's like, I'm making this plan work.
Chase 40 feet around the corner, so it's 20 feet behind you again. And then it will kind of and just spit this goop directly behind you. It splashes into you, or splashes behind you. It may not affect you. Hold on a second.
Take your time.
Give me another Constitution saving throw.
20.
Okay, so you will take 10 points of poison damage. So 5 resistance.
Okay.
And you're good. No saving or no problem there. And then you can kind of tell that after it shoots the spray and you're darting away, if you're not going to turn around and fight it, your call though.
I'm throwing another dart at it.
Okay, go ahead and throw the dart.
If I have to do this the whole way back, 15.
Doesn't hit. Bounces off of its carapace, and then you continue 40 feet back. 40 feet on.
If it's not moving, I'm not going anywhere.
Well,
I'll
you throw
get past where he spat to me.
You throw the dart and then you move, right?
Yes.
It goes back into its hole.
What a dick. I guess I'll jog back towards the entrance.
Okay. As you come around the corner, it seems to have been lying in wait for you. It snaps out at you with the tentacles.
Whoa. No. The entrance north. The entrance of the sewer.
I thought you were there.
No.
Alright. Yeah, got wise to your bullshit. Okay, you make it back to the entrance of the sewer. Come out. Everyone's up on the top of the roofs, ready to fight. He's covered
So I
in
need a
sludge.
new plan. There's like hay poking out of my shirt where it bit me.
Are you poisoned?
I don't think so.
No. And it's been a couple of minutes, by the way, gents.
How'd that fireball work?
Could have used a few more, I think.
We have more.
How many you got?
I have 4 left, and I'm pretty sure Benson can do some fireballs. No? Got 1? So five fireballs or so?
I don't know how you all feel about fighting in a sewer.
Tell us what it did.
Well, paralyzed me for a bit there. Tried to eat my blood. Realized I didn't have any. Decided I was a floater for a while. And he's real content and hiding in the sewer waiting for me.
Real quick note, you would be able to see that the bite area is covered with kind of like some sort of fluid. And the back of him and like the back of his head is covered in a kind of fluid as well. That doesn't just appear to be sewer goop.
Gross.
Ooh, can we tell what it is?
You can go ahead and make a medicine check to try and investigate the nature of this stuff.
I would like to. 8.
It seems to be some sort of nasty, kind of like sickly, greenish colored fluid.
Wash that stuff off.
Made of hay, it's just gonna soak in.
Yeah, I'll roll around in the fountain, I guess.
Does it the fluid look similar to what was in the syringe from the trap?
No, different color.
That's good then.
Best I can tell, it's mucus. And best I can tell, I hate it. I was paralyzed for a good minute there.
What you would know, though, is if it is some sort of fluid excretion, like a cough or something to that effect, Grok's investigation of it just then, just getting close enough to it, like investigate it, probably would have infected him with Red Death if it is infected.
Woo woo!
So, we've confirmed it's carrying the Red Death.
No, I'm saying if it does have the Red Death. and
Oh,
Grok
if
just-
it does, it would have.
You'll know pretty soon. Keep an
I'll
eye
know
on
pretty
Grok.
soon. How do I feel?
No different.
All right. So maybe it's just spitting out gross, paralyzing stuff rather than the Red Death. Is there any way to heal Shambles a bit? How hurt are you?
Had better days. On a scale of 1 to 66, I'm at a 17.
I will.
Top notch.
Could I cast Healing Spirit and have him run back and forth through it for a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on.
How many dead bodies was it carrying with it?
It took back 4.
It took 4 with it. And how many were just in the sewer?
So-
So in the pile that
Like dozens? Or?
in the pile that it had been kind of feasting on, probably about 8. And in the long stretch between entry point to there, probably about another dozen.
We can't get it to show the spell description.
And the body it was munching on at the end there was the same body you saw it munching on at the start.
Okay.
So it's
So he's
obviously
not burning through those
it's
crazy
taking,
fast.
It's taking him quite a bit of time to eat bodies, yeah.
So are we gonna try that again, or are we just gonna all squat, like just go squat up on?
We're going down there. If it won't come out, we're gonna kill it.
All right. I don't know if it'll do any good, but I'll just tie my scarf around my mouth. I don't.
And we'll do the same.
Give Shambles a chance to run back and forth through that healing aura.
Sure. So
It's like a giant turtle.
duration is 1 minute, so go ahead and roll 10d6, and you'll just regain 10d6 hit points.
Neat. Is that for me to do or to Andy?
Well, the first roll looks like it was a 5, so go ahead and roll me 9d6.
Right. Roll 96.
I don't care who.
27 plus 5 is 32.
Get 32.
Right.
Ain't bad.
Can anybody go through that, or only a certain number of times?
Anybody.
I'm gonna go through it too once.
You can all sort of dance around in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just the 5 hit points. Get that back. All right. Anybody else want to do anything on the surface before you decide to go get your kill? I believe Raya's not going in there, right?
Correct. I've already left. I am tagging every sign of this town that I see as Red Death, Do Not Enter, Plague, whatever.
Yeah.
And once I've hit all of those, I'll be heading north to that town or encampment you told me about to check up on the folk that live there and see if it's spread.
Okay. There was a goblin encampment to the north.
Yeah, I was giving out all the details.
Okay.
Better make sure those goblins aren't affected. Hey, they're people too.
Right. Good.
If that's the plan, and I'm going into the sewer, I'll tell the elf that I'm going into the sewer and to stay with Raya, make sure he's safe, and gets to the village all right, and take him there.
Are you going to accept the elk riding, Raya?
I'm pretty sure that thing wouldn't have fit in the sewer, so I will let it come with me, but I'm not going to ride it.
What?
Don't kill the elk,
It's a lot.
Raya.
It's a lot faster than you.
I'd probably, but still, I don't
Okay.
necessarily trust anybody. I'll take it for protection, but not as a mount.
Gotcha. All right. The others, besides Raya, are descending into the sewer, and you're going to hunt the carrion crawler, or are you going to go investigate the tomb?
Follow me at a good distance if we're going after that thing.
Or
You can
is
spit some, I'm imagining, 20, 30 feet.
the tomb on the way to the carrion crawler?
It's a
Past.
ways. It's closer to you. If you go to the carrion crawler, it's going to take you about a minute or so, or a few. It's about 300 feet away from you. The crypt is about 50 feet away from you.
We can come back for the crypt. We should stay focused while we know where this thing is.
It
Okay.
might have changed position. Let me get a good distance ahead of you.
Yeah,
If it
and,
goes after me, I'm not done for.
Leon's in the zone.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll him back of the bus.
Okay. You make your way to the carrion crawler's lair. In the moments that it took you to round up your stuff, you note that the bodies as you left them are kind of still just laying about. Some of them are kind of floating in the water, drifting, kind of connected against stone or bits by their clothing, not moving further down. You do note that when you get to the pile where the 4 were, Shambles, that the 4 bodies that were there before, of the 8, are no longer there. It must have come back in the moments that you were talking and planning, and grab those. You continue further down in, and you note that the cul-de-sac kind of come around the corner and look, and it's not there.
Great.
Is there any indication where it went?
Survival check.
is it like a slug, or did it have little legs?
Little legs.
That little
18.
You would note that it appears to have moved in this room to the ceiling, and you can sense that it traveled across the ceiling into the T-square section and moved effectively west from your position and down the tunnel that way.
Alright, I guess we're heading west then. I'll tell the group that it went this way and we start motioning. Like, but yeah, we gotta go this way instead.
Okay. So
We're finding this thing.
the waterway continues southwards, but it doesn't seem to cut off into the side path. So the side path is completely dry. It goes for about 200 or so feet, and when you come to the end point of it, you realize that it looks like it was kind of like a drop-off for liquids that descends down about 500 feet into the dark. It looks like it was kind of just a point where certain heavier materials would basically just leave the waterway. If you kind of go back and look at the point where the T section is, it looks like it's kind of positioned so that heavier materials will go down this path, while lighter waterway, just liquids, will continuing on south. But there doesn't appear to be any sign of the carrion crawler visually, but there is tracking material. It does look like it descended into the foul deep, which, out of character note, the Underdark isn't a thing. The foul deep is what the world beneath the surface is called. It's a lot different than you would note the Underdark from what you know of literature.
Oh boy. So this is basically like a black hole into the abyss.
About right, yeah.
Like the Darth Maul hole in Phantom Menace. It's just a whole straight.
Yep. And you
Are we all in the same general vicinity?
yeah, you're right there. Like, close
Why don't
to
we
the-
burn its lair then?
Yeah, not a
Oh,
bad
it's all
idea.
stone. We could get rid of the bodies.
Yeah, there's clothes and stuff that it didn't eat. There's like bits of shit that was left behind, but there's no like corpses. It would have stayed eating those. It loves those. But yeah, if you burn the residual stuff, it seems that the nothing of import, nothing of note. There are a couple of trinkets therein. You find what appears to be a silver ring. Upon closer inspection, you realize that it's not silver at all. It's platinum. It's a platinum ring worth about 50 gold pieces.
Ooh.
And nothing else really of note. Okay.
I guess we can check out those crypts.
Hmm.
Can I cast detect magic here, John?
Nothing happens.
Neat.
Like at the hole.
Yeah.
No, nothing happens.
Grok suggests that he casts Entangle on the hole. Is that a thing that would
Doesn't
work?
last
That would
for
help?
very long.
That's true. It's only for
A minute.
a minute. Yeah.
Like, it went down. It took the bodies that were available to it down to the hole. At this point, as long as no one feeds it any, it probably won't. If it comes back, it'll just leave because there won't be anything else for it to eat. Maybe now we can just find out where those bodies came from, or if there's someone feeding.
Yeah, or we can check out what's going on down that staircase.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any tracking it now.
Okay.
My bad.
All right, you go back to the crypt entrance. Raya, you continue walking. You're pretty sure it's going to take you about half the day, and it's already the latter half of the day, so you'll arrive at nighttime. For those of you going back to the crypt, you enter into the Columbaria section, and give me a second while I move people onto the map. Shambles, Grok, Benson, Gondar, Leon. As I mentioned, this first room of the crypt is covered with moss. Green moss, which Leon, you would be able to detect with your rangery skills, that it doesn't appear to be like moss that will cause problems if it was breathed in or anything like that. And then there are columbaria, which are small little holes with urns inside of them that are covered with stone slats. And then there are crypts, which are stone slat covered areas where coffins are held. One of those is opened, and the coffin appears to be left out on the ground.
So we haven't looked inside this coffin yet, correct?
No one's done anything in this room besides be
Okay.
in it.
So we might open the coffin up before we head down the stairs, maybe?
Thought it was laying open.
It's not open.
Oh. All right. Yeah, I'll crack it open. Stand back.
Well, don't worry.
Okay. You open up the coffin, and inside of the coffin, you see that there is a skeleton. Looks like whatever was in here has been dead for quite some time. It looks like it has a rusted shield and sword, and a rusted iron crown on its head. No significant matter present. It doesn't even look like there's a stone marker to indicate who this person is. It does look like
Shame we don't have somebody who could talk to the dead.
For Benson, it does look like they were kind of laid here with the intent to be put into one of the crypts, but the work wasn't completed.
Were they buried with any finery or anything, or just the sword?
Iron crown, shield, and sword. All of which are rusted and old.
Can I do a history check to see what that would mean? If it's just anything with the area or anything like
Like the crown or anything?
No, nobility-wise, it does seem to indicate someone of curio status or station.
Okay.
I guess we'll go down the hole.
You would note, too, that the markers on each of the crypts and columbaria seem to indicate that the individuals who are ash are wives and children, and it seems that the people who are in the crypts are the either male or female leads of the house, so husbands and wives and children, sorry, in the urns. And it looks like the lordly individuals were put inside of the crypts. They all seem to have the same last name.
What's
Smith.
the last name?
Mortis.
Founders of
They
the
must
town.
be from around here.
I can't believe they took the name of the town as their family name. That's pretty unreal.
Lame.
Or vice versa, yeah.
No.
That'd be silly.
Yeah.
That'd be
But if we
vain.
name a town after this, who would be that arrogant?
A fair point. So is the descent the plan?
I think so.
Wait, descent into the black hole into the.
No, the
No,
crypt.
this
Oh,
Paper in
okay.
the crypt.
spiral staircase.
I was like, whoa!
Who's on point?
I guess I'll take the lead.
Who's behind him?
I can go behind him.
I'll get the middle.
Okay.
I'm back of the bus.
Leon then, okay. Alright.
Could I have my light back, Jody?
Yeah, I'll pop a light on his.
Okay.
That's a cantrip, right? I'm not wasting your spell slots.
Yeah, bro, you're all good.
Cool.
So, you can see that the stairway continues down and opens up in its center. And it looks like it comes down to a kind of slightly moss-covered landing. Looks like there's a hallway that leads around the corner there. The descent was about 50 feet, you approximate, so it was quite the haul down.
Okay, and this is just a wall directly ahead of me, north.
Yeah, and kind of a passageway to the left, yep.
Let's go.
Take a step around. I'll sort of be looking for traps, seeing as the door to this place was very cruelly trapped.
Fair. Does not appear to be any that you can see, and you see that it kind of loops around to the left. When you come around this way, another hallway. It looks like it kind of snakes around and again to the right on this one. And when you enter into this chamber around the corner,
I don't hear anything.
nothing.
Nothing's going on.
No sound. I guess a small, faint drip of water, but nothing besides. When you come through here, you can see that on the right wall, to your right side, there are a series of crypts stacked 10 high. The ceiling in here is some 30 feet high. Very large pillar filled with columbaria, and then the diagonal shaped pillars also filled with columbaria as well. The moss from upstairs appears to be present here. It seems to have grown stronger in different areas, more dense, darker green. Again, this doesn't appear to be anything hostile or anything. Just appears to denote that it is made for a living circumstance for this specific type of flora.
Whisper over my shoulder to Grok. Is this natural for this kind of moss to grow in a place like this?
Would Grok know that?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it definitely would be.
Okay.
Are the others following behind?
I hope so.
Yeah, we're a marching order.
Yeah, I would be following. I don't see anything. I'm in a black area.
Got it. It's dark. I'll walk into the crypt proper here.
Okay. So it's massive, very, very massive. It's the very first thing you kind of realize. It's 30 feet high ceilings, and they're kind of, visibly painted with very ornate kind of designs, showing what appears to be kind of like a heavenly scene up above you, with a number of different celestials kind of encircling towards the center, which is marked with the symbol of Atavius. Not too far from you, just kind of laying out on the ground near you, which would be about here-ish, is what appears to be some sort of treasure chest, just kind of sitting idly next to one of the columbaria pillars. It does look like I said, the chamber is very, very open, and it appears to have kind of a, you can go to the left or the right, down either passage side.
Oh no, my kleptomania flaws kicking.
Yep, go for it. I was waiting for that.
I'll pass a couple candles back.
Okay. Who wants to be holding light?
I can't. It's not my style. I need two hands for stabbing.
Grok?
I probably don't want to hold light because I might not stay in a turtle form for the whole time.
No light for you. Okay.
I guess I'll do it.
I would like light.
Yeah, we should have. Okay, when we get back to Muda's, we gotta invest in like some lanterns with handles that we can like clip to our side.
Or you
Link-
could get
link
lantern
style.
shields, which are daggers. So.
And also shields, and also light sources.
Yep.
Oh man.
Check it out in Dirks and Daggers, out now on the DM's Guild. I'm a
Triple threat.
whore.
Shameless.
Wonderful plug.
Nice.
Um,
So the treasure chest is down.
sorry, hold on. Commercial break. Are you tired
Whoops.
of trying to hold a knife and a shield and a lantern? Why not do all three at one time with this weird freaking device?
The Ronco what?
Anyways, the treasure chest is, you can see it there. It's just inside.
Do I see anything out of place with the treasure chest? Is the moss growing around it as naturally as everywhere else?
Yeah, it is growing around it as naturally as everywhere else. It does look like it's been here for a long time. Same with this one over here.
Do I see any exits to this place?
Does not appear to be exits, no. Just a long open hallway to the left, and a long open hallway to the right. Which way are you going?
I guess I'm walking left just to get an outline of how big this room is.
Grok
Massive.
is staying with Shan.
If you keep going, you see that the floor seems to be broken up ahead of you, and there appears to be a very massive, like bronze or brass, you're not sure, plate settled on the stone. There's kind of something looming in the air above it, which you can't see in the shadows. If you get closer to it, you would note that it appears to be a very massive round gear up in the air, with a gear connected on its left side and a gear that connects off to the right, set inside of the ceilings above it.
Go closer, Shamble.
Gear, gear, gear.
So it's a
this
giant
is
mechanism?
good.
Yeah, above it though,
Okay.
and then it
Oh, okay, I
appears-
see the gears.
Yeah, massive like brass
Just like
platform
Uncharted.
on the center there. It does look like there might be more to the south, passageway wise, and it does look like you can go under the gears on the north side and continue behind them if you want.
I'd go do it, Gondar.
It's hanging on the air, so you
Is there,
might
a,
as
is, there
well.
a, is there a lock on this chest?
There is.
I
Is
wish
it
we had a
loaded?
rogue. A rogue would be really helpful right now.
I'm almost a rogue. Hold on. Don't worry. I'm like a scoundrel.
Is that
Yes.
the death
Does it
throes
look-
of Team Raya, I hear?
He's not getting the plague, so he's okay.
Oh, neither am
Oh,
I.
yep.
Does it have like a lock that can be picked, or is it like too specific?
Bust it open. You're a fighter now.
It does have a lock that can be picked.
I'd like to attempt a lock picking.
Make a thieves tools check. And real quick note: this is the first time you've made one this game. So how we're handling thieves tools is your thieves tool should have a note on it or something to the effect that it denotes that there are 10 picks inside of the set. If you fail by a certain amount, if you fail, you'll break a pick. If you fail by a certain amount, you may break 2 picks in the attempt.
This is not my first pick lock.
Well,
We
yeah.
did one in Fort Phelan,
Apologies.
but
Sorry
yes,
about
but don't worry about it.
that.
Dexterity, right?
I am so sorry. Yeah, it's a dexterity thieves tools check, please.
17.
Click, click. It pops open.
Do I have the coronavirus or just full?
No, it doesn't seem there are any traps or anything. You open up the chest, and inside you see that there's some moldy kind of cloth, maybe silk, you're not sure, and some other loose kind of just personal effects that don't look like they're of much worth. If you kind of take your dagger and kind of move the silk away, you'll note that inside there does appear to be a amulet. Looks like it's made out of platinum as well. It looks like it might be worth about 50 gold pieces.
Wow, I put it on.
Okay.
Is it just like kind of a basic design, or does it have like a
It's a-
Batavian cross or anything?
It's an Atavian like symbol on a disc, and then the chain is a very fine, thin chain.
Look at me, I'm an Osirian.
You got
I'm
bling
blending
now.
in. Don't look at my blue hair. I'm actually an Osirian.
That's how it works. Benson, you're staying with Gondar or doing something else?
Yes, I am.
And,
I am very cautious of being down here because I just know how bad this is going to be. So I'm very cautious.
It could be bad. It's all dead.
Shambles, if you move towards the southern end, you'll note that the floor here appears to have like a very high level of water, and it seems like it's kind of divoted down into this next room that you're moving to. When you come to it, you'll note that the entire floor from basically like right about here on in is water, and it feels like it starts at like maybe a depth of maybe a couple of inches, and then it looks like it might get deeper to about 3 or 4 feet high, water-wise. There are 3 alcoves if you kind of move into just looking into the room. 3 small
Right here?
alcoves. Yeah, that's good. 3 small alcoves. Each one of them looks like it has a treasure chest sitting inside of it. The water, you can see some movement in it, and you kind of look to like the walls near it and also the floor underneath it. There look like there are cracks and kind of holes splintered in it. And the movement, you're kind of like, at first like, huh? And then you see that these fish kind of start popping out. The fish seem to have like skins that's come over or like grown over their eyes, and they're like completely stark white.
Hey, Grok. Have
Yeah.
you seen anything like this before?
Are they albino fish?
Yeah.
Well, there's no sunlight down here.
Oh, and apologies.
Are they dangerous?
You do have a light source. Never mind. Okay.
Would Grok know whether they're dangerous?
These fish are probably no bigger than like a hand. They appear to be just small subterranean fish.
And if I examine the water just to make sure it's not tainted in any way, could I tell?
It's got moss in it. It's got dirt in it. It's definitely not clean for drinking.
Right. That's not what I'm asking. More like if I step in, am I going to be?
It doesn't look
you
like
know,
it has
is it
the red
diseased?
death in it.
Okay.
No. The
Okay.
the red death is very clearly red. And
So it looks like it's safe to wade into the water if we need to. Grok would say it is.
You're a turtle.
I mean, I could hold my breath in there for an hour if I want to.
No. It's not a hold breath situation. It's I'm a scarecrow. You're a turtle. There's water we have to walk through.
Sure. You
At
want to
least
climb
one
on
of
my?
us does.
You want to climb on my? Climb on my shell?
I can just
I'll
watch.
carry
I
you.
can watch from here.
well, if he goes into full turtle mode and then just like floats so his belly's up, you could stand on top of him and just sail out to.
Fine.
No, I'm kidding.
Fine, we'll do it.
I'm
No,
kidding.
you said it. It's canon.
It's so tempting. So you say that there are 3 chests in the water? Is that right?
Yeah, 3 chests in the water. Yep.
Okay.
They're in alcoves.
So I would wade into the water.
I'll go maybe
Um,
ankle deep and just watch, give him some light.
Sort of look at the chest. Does it look any different than the chest that I passed that Gondor just opened?
Yeah, so as you kind of move over to it and kind of check it out, you're kind of looking at it, and then it snaps open. A massive purple tongue comes flaring out at you and slaps into you.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh shit.
Such things shouldn't be alive.
Why didn't I get Gondar, you ask? 18 to hit.
Missed.
Okay. So it bashes against your shell, and then it kind of like looms back, kind of moving on its lower portion into its alcove, kind of flailing its tongue out at you in kind of a defensive, like cornered animal posture.
Do I recognize the creature?
It does not seem to be a normal creature. You can make a nature check if you're backing away from it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna try to face off with it. By
He's got a chest open.
I don't really know what it is. I got a 5.
No idea. The chest is the thing that's hitting him. Sorry, I don't know if I made that clear. Okay.
Right.
You have no idea. It definitely seems to be some sort of strange monstrosity because it has massive teeth, a huge, massive purple tongue coming out of what looked like a treasure chest.
Mm-hmm. So I would swim back, wade back,
Okay.
out of the way.
It
Yeah, and sort of say, that's not a treasure chest.
It doesn't seem to follow you.
It knows better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go back out of the water and say, I don't know if those chests are really worth checking out.
Okay. If you stay there for a little while, and quietly, you'll watch as they kind of lop their tongues into the water and pluck fish out of the water and into their mouths. They look like they're
All 3 of them are doing
All
this?
3 of them?
Yep. They look like they're pretty well fed.
Okay, is there a sense that the fish are coming from another source? Because
There are holes and cracks in the ground.
Okay.
Gondar,
Yeah, not here. Yeah, there's a chest. There's 3 chests here, Gondo.
Oh, what?
we need somebody to pick locks.
Greedy McGreedy, get over here.
Make deception checks, you nerds. Gondar.
I'm fucking
No,
with him.
I'll
I'm
never
gonna
do
tell
that.
him not to open them.
Wait, why
They're
not?
dangerous because they're
They
not
tried to
chests.
bite the turtle.
That's
Have
the
you
best
ever
kind of chest. You don't.
seen that creature before? The kind
He's
that's
like,
not
wait,
really-
why not?
Probably. I do a lot of adventuring. I
Yeah,
open a lot of chests.
Make an intelligence check.
Big purple tongue tried to bite me.
17 raw intelligence.
You've definitely tangled with a mimic before. It's definitely not worth it because in the end, the mimic isn't actually a treasure chest. It's just a creature.
Alright, I thought sometimes they still have stuff.
Yeah,
think-
sometimes of what they ate. But based on what they've just described to you, if they tell you about this setup, it sounds like they've been eating fish. So if you're really interested in fish bones,
Grok grumbles a
What
little
was the
bit,
treasure
looking at
hole?
Gondor's new amulet. Grok didn't even try to open the chest. That guy gets an amulet.
Yeah, you like?
Not really, no.
So, do we think
Wait, all
do you
3 of
think
those
they're
chests
gonna
are
stay
mimic?
here?
Yep.
Yeah, we're pretty sure they're all eating fish here.
Rats.
I just saw that one do it too.
if you're talking, it doesn't seem that they've switched out of chest mode and into kind of horror mode. But if you back away and quietly just wait, you might see one kind of snap its tongue into the water and fish out a single fish.
Would this be what the dripping noise was I heard before?
It does seem that the dripping's coming in from here, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're all comfortable leaving them there, we'll move off. What about the other end of this room? I think I saw another chest in this direction.
Yeah, if you want to go check the other side of the chamber, you will come
Light
to
source moving.
you will come to note that there is another treasure chest present there. Looks like it's
Come on, Gondar.
a very strange kind of hall there, but looking at it, you realize that it looks like it's unfinished. It looks like they were continuing to dig further to the east. And it looks like there's a small alcove to the south around the corner.
That's
Well, I'll
really
let the
sound
turtle get
horror.
his satisfaction and open an actual chest this time.
No, I don't care about opening chests so much.
I'll open the chest.
It's locked.
You're gonna feel left out.
It's alright.
Can I pry the lock with the pitchfork? Break it open?
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Sorry.
Wait, this is locked too?
Yeah. It's
Yep.
also
Yeah.
locked.
Do you want me to try to pick it?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
pretty.
guess so.
It's a pretty simple lock.
You're gonna
I mean,
you're gonna share the spoils.
I mean, if there's enough to go around, sure.
If not, sorry about you.
You're gonna break that amulet in 3 or 4.
Like, we'll deal with it later. If you guys want me to like get the coin later and split the coin, that's fine. But I can't cut this amulet into 5 pieces.
Fool me once. Rock says.
so
There's another 17.
click opens up. Inside, nothing more than a simple urn. It looks like this urn is kind of settled in fine silk. That's it.
Is there like ashes in the urn, or is it just like an urn?
Inside.
Like, is it an urn full of ashes?
Do you open it?
Yeah, he does.
No. I shake it.
Checking for ashes.
You shake it. It kind of has like a liquidy sound.
Oh. Gross. I just kind of put it back.
You don't check it.
I don't want to. I'll give it to Grok. Here, you say you want some of the treasure.
Fuck you, Gondar. This is the Red Death.
He hands you a bottle of water or
I
liquid
put it down.
or fluid.
I put it back down. I don't need that.
All right.
Fine. We'll check out what's to the south.
Another treasure chest.
Is it? I'm not even gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna be, hey, I'm over here for a second.
This one's not
Is it locked? Great. I'm gonna open it.
Okay. Inside, it has 4 different urns, and each one of them has a different head on it, and a holy symbol that doesn't appear to be an Atavian holy symbol. It appears to be an Avarian or Avariu holy symbol, which is God from the Southlands, Parnak. Behind this 4-urn setup, there is a single, like in this little alcove here, there is one single crypt, not stacked
Ooh.
high.
Do I see a name on this crypt?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you do. It says Cyrus Bray.
Why does this sound familiar? Genuinely sounds familiar.
And then some years, and the years appear to be about 500 or so years ago. 500 to 600 years ago.
What are the heads on the
One's a dragon,
urns?
one's 6 serpent heads, one is a crow's head, and one is what appears to be a beholder with only 4
Can you
eyes.
just say that one more time?
A dragon, a 6-headed serpent, a beholder with 4 eye stalks and 6 broken ones, and a crow's head.
Oh, jeez.
It sounds so familiar to the old campaign. The
Yeah, I know too much John lore at this point.
Do you open
Look-
them?
I'm looking at the timeline to see if I could figure anything out. I don't see it. I don't see that
I'll
name.
shake them, see if they're full.
Sounds
Pick
like
'em
there's
up.
some sort of fluid in them.
I'll take them with me.
Okay.
Dragon,
You don't.
six serpents.
You don't open
This-
them to check
th-
the contents.
You know, this place is probably a lot older than any Red Death, I would say.
What was the third one? I know the beholder was last. Sorry.
Beholder,
Dragon,
crow.
serpents, crow. Crow seems the least ominous. I'll open crow.
Okay, 1 second.
It's my job.
It's unlikely.
I must scare the contents.
There you go.
So you open up the crow. Do. Inside, you would see a reddish-colored liquid, just kind of like nasty and tepid in its look. You see that it appears to have something inside of it, possibly an organ of the body.
Gross.
So,
I don't recognize this organ.
There's also a certain briny smell to it. It appears to be a liver.
Huh. Yeah, I'll put him in my bag and.
Okay. They actually
Secure 'em.
they seal pretty tight, enough to have contain the seal, for however long it's been down here. But yeah, you put the 4 urns in your bag. Cool.
so out of character, I think this is the humors, right? Is that right?
Perhaps.
What are the humors? What's going on?
I think it's an old notion about the body and medicine. Yeah.
Are you saying we should eat these things?
I'm
Yeah.
saying they have different effects.
You're saying we should eat them?
The spirit of Team Riot.
Were you thinking of the most humoristic, like the most humor-filled
Yeah.
thing that you could do? Okay. And then you are going to descend further down? Or are you going to continue checking out this area? There's no further down. You can't descend further down. Sorry.
It's probably something opens that bronze thing.
Sure. Are you going to grab the urn that nobody else took or leave it where it was placed?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Might as well, right?
It's a set now.
Cool.
Curse dolls, curse
Is there
urns, it's
anything?
cool.
Is there anything special about urn that was all alone?
No, it just
Does it have a head to it or?
has kind of like a watery sound to it. Do you want to check its contents?
Sure.
Okay. When you open it up, the lid pops off to the side vigorously, like something is pushing it aside, and a massive geyser of water splashes into your face. Make a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw.
Mm-hmm. You succeed.
22.
So the only thing that happens is the light hat kind of flies aside and kind of floats atop it. As you're kind of like, ah, God. You don't get thrown away from it.
Is that all that's happening? It's
Yeah,
just
water's continually
spraying
coming out.
water like a bastard.
Yeah, it does not stop.
Can I put the lid back on?
You reach over for the lid with that strength saving throw. I'd say you'd be able to force it back onto it. Close it.
That seems like it could be useful.
Hell
Having
yes!
a geyser cannon thing.
Pocket geyser.
Yeah,
Portable
We
fire
could
hose.
put it-
Extinguish all my problems.
We could put it on Grok and he could be a squirrel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, we,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, blast away.
This is way better than the jar of mayonnaise we had last time.
Because we got about 5 minutes. The 4 of you kind of check out this area and then move over to the gear section with the large disc on it. There are a couple of paths that lead north. We'll discuss those further in the future. And there's an altar. The altar has something written on it, and there's a bowl sitting out on the altar. That's where I'll leave you for the till next time, and I'll be giving you some stuff I see. So when we start next session, you'll be hitting the ground running. Fast forward in time. The walk does not take you that long to get to the encampment, Jeremy. When you arrive there, it does not appear that anything is amiss or wrong, but you do see a couple of hobgoblins kind of move out to approach you. One of them raises his hand and says, "The common tongue or ours?"
Common, please. Stay where you are.
Fair enough.
I've come from Mortis, and it seems everyone is dead. I came to check on you to see if the disease has spread here.
We are aware of what's happened in Mortis. Happened a month ago. A couple of their individuals attempted to come to our camp and enter into it. We killed them on sight. We are aware of the Red Death and its effects. We will not allow anyone else into this place. You say you come from there?
I have, which is why I'm standing here and not with you.
How long have you lived in Mortis?
I've never lived there. I've just passed through it today.
You see them kind of lower their bow. They raise bows up at first when they ask you how long have you lived in Mortis, and then they start lowering their bows. Very good. Our shaman says the plague should have died out by now. If you are not a carrier, then what words do you have for us? Why do you come to our camp? What business do you have?
Verifying that the disease is not spread here and goes no farther. I have acquaintances that have taken it upon themselves to defeat some beast that lives below the city that still may yet spread. They've traveled into the crypts, I believe.
The lands to the south are filled with a number of horrors. Creatures known as ant lions. I think the humans call them ankegs. An annoying.
We've dealt with those as well.
Umber hulks.
Something they called a carrion crawler. It was feeding on the dead.
There are crypts beneath Mortis, I presume. Interesting. Our shaman would know more of it. Do you wish to speak with him, or...
If he's available, we could have this conversation.
I'm certain that he can be made available for a wood elf such as yourself. One moment.
Does the... Well, to the other one while he goes to get it. Does the post travel through here?
No. We do not remain in communication with the peoples of Osiria. We maintain our trade through tongue. Words must be spoken. To be true.
Very well. I hadn't assumed so, but was hoping. Do you know the nearest place a letter could be sent?
I'm sorry, I'm not terribly familiar with the matters of humans.
Okay.
You kind of both stand there awkwardly. And then the hobgoblin from before comes back and says, come with me. As you enter into the camp, you see that it's pretty nice. It's actually kind of quaint here. Goblins and hobgoblins and a few bugbears that you can see. A couple of other different goblinoid creatures that you're not familiar with, kind of all moseying about. Definitely a lot of different types of goblins. What kind of makes you kind of do a double take is you actually see that there are a number of humans present in the camp as well, and other races that are kind of present here in the camp. You're led to the shaman's tent. When you enter into it, you're immediately blasted with a smell of incense as you enter into the tent, and there appear to be 3 of these shamanistic individuals. The one in the center appears to be a very old male goblin with a bunch of adornments and dressings. Bronze is basically the name of the game. He's got all different types of jewelry, and most of it's bronze with like stones set in it. The other 2 individuals, one appears to be a female goblin. She is covered with more silver than her predecessor there. Not as many gemstones. Mostly, it almost looks like she's wearing silver armor, but it's kind of like a loose kind of, just bracers, small pauldrons, a very thin kind of chain shirt, nothing too heavy. And then the last of them is Bugbear, who is just quietly sitting in a black cloak, basically looks like the Grim Reaper over there, and settled next to the Bugbear is a massive scythe. The shaman raises his hand and starts casting a spell, which immediately kind of... the hobgoblin standing next to you doesn't seem to make no heads or tails about it. And then the goblin finishes casting its spell, closes its hands, and kind of looks to you. Starts moving his mouth in a tongue that you're not familiar with, but you understand him. And he says,
"What brings you here to our camp, young one?"
An investigation of the Red Death of Mortis.
"We are aware of what happened in Mortis a month prior. A foolish brigand type, a known scoundrel to the townsfolk, is said to have unleashed it upon those peoples. When they came here seeking sanctuary, we laid them out on the ground, and we kept them rotting there for the prescribed 2 weeks' time for the plague to die. What do you wish to know besides that?
I only wish to know if it had spread here or if you know it has spread any farther. I know others had left the town.
We are aware that others had left the town prior to its full spread. Most of those folks had headed south. Unfortunately, the 3 individuals that came this way were clearly identified as having the symptoms of the Red Death, so were laid down to ground. Our dogs and wargs were not allowed to go near their bodies for the prescribed duration.
Good.
We are not fools here, but I do thank you for coming. However, you are someone who's passed through that town. You must be aware that now no one currently holds the land and farming ground around it. Is there plans for this place? Or can we perhaps come to some sort of negotiation with the Curios from the town, or whoever will be left in charge of that place?
I believe you'd have to go much higher than the curios of that town. I'm sure they're all long dead. I think this is more of a longer government matter. It's none of my business. I don't care. Take the land. As I said, I'm only here to check on the Red Death. I had associates traveling with me, though, who have traveled underneath the town back into the crypts. It can't be for certain that the Red Death is completely dead yet.
He stops for a second and he says to the female warrior there, he said take the land. Oh, an elf as high as he must be of some repute. We can take this for accord, and if we are told to leave the land, we will do so peacefully, but for now, ready your troops, we will head in that direction. Thank you, Wood Elf. And then you see the bugbear kind of like reach down, grab the scythe, stand up, and kind of get up. He says. The shaman says, my associate will escort you out of the town.
As I said, my associates are beneath the town, and the Red Death might not be done yet.
Fair enough. Very pointed. The Red Death is supposed to die after 2 weeks of its spread.
But Lord knows what else is down there that could have contained it. If the beast was feeding on those and has it itself and is still living, then it could be spreading anywhere.
Yes. Yes, and if it's as my friend states, a carrion crawler, as you had cited to him, it might be able to hold disease for some time. A good point.
I intend to send word to the capital. Hopefully they will send somebody to investigate the problem, and you can address them with your wishes for the land.
Well, you are a special case. He raises his hand to the bugbear, who kind of sits back down and settles the scythe for a second. Elves have special blood from the Feywild. This gives them certain protections against mortal diseases, so long as those protections are bolstered. If you wish, I can submit you to a ritual, which might make you immune to this mortal plague.
I sit there and look at myself, I don't really know what this body does. It's new to me.
Oh. Someone reincarnated you.
I suppose.
Fair. Well, do you mind if I help you and play with your systems, or would you prefer I leave you be?
As long as you wish me no ill, do what you want.
Fair enough.
I've died once, it wasn't that bad.
The shaman begins casting a spell over you, throwing kind of this foul-smelling incense about, but you initially think it smells foul, and then you kind of realize that it doesn't. It smells like when you were trancing, sleep trancing, not death trancing, and you kind of have this, oh, nice, kind of familiarity with that. It's first it's like, oh, and then, hey. If you're a fan of marijuana, you would understand what I'm kind of getting at. That's skunk. And then he spends about 10 minutes preparing this ritual, and then spends about another 10 minutes actually activating the ritual. You
It's
feel
10 minutes getting blazed in front of me is what you're saying.
well. You kind of feel like a levity, but other than that, you feel no real change in your countenance. And he says, "From here forward, the Red Death will not affect you. I cannot say what will happen with other mortal diseases, but specifically this one should be no bother for you. We have all been inoculated in a similar fashion. Some of us are fey touched, as you are.
Sounds like a win to me.
Well, if your plan is to go back and deal with this plague bearer, you should have no problem doing so now.
Thank you.
When you finish, please alert us of the fact, and we will, as you stated, take the property so that we can grow our numbers. Thank you so much."
I'll be sure to send some form of reward to you.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cut the session off there. Pretty good end. We will pick back up with the ride back, which again is going to be a couple hours, and we'll be discussing the interior of the crypt. Thanks for watching. If you were, I think Chris Edwards popped in. Cool kid. But other than that, yeah, we'll pick up next week. Later, guys.